Space News 68, The Lost Alfratan Starship and the Incident Around It. Hello, thank you for being here with me once more. I hope you are very well today. This is Marie, with another edition of Space News. Welcome to my channel. This information can be seen as science fiction, or as the viewer sees best, and I post it for entertainment purposes only. Still, I take my information very seriously, and for whoever has eyes to see. I am writing this on the morning of March 7th, 2025. In today's first piece of news, I have an update on the Alfratan Centauri starship that went missing some weeks ago along with a crew of 700 people, including 512 Taygetan passengers traveling home from Alpha Centauri to Taygeta, Tema, because of the increased tensions between both star nations. Just a few days after I gave that piece of information in my Space News video, number 66, Taygetan fighter ships belonging to the newly reinstalled Sand Clock fighter units detected the missing starship partially hidden in a large hangar in the Earth Cabal-controlled sector of the planet Mars. It is very interesting to notice that it was the Taygetan fighter squadrons who found the missing ship, and not the Alfratans, who supposedly were doing their very best efforts to locate it, especially when this sector in space, and particularly this solar system, is so full of them. I see that when they say they are giving their very best to help find the ship, they are also full of something else. Either they were very incompetent, or they were only making believe that they were looking for the missing ship, perhaps to buy some time, and this goes for the Galactic Federation as well, who not only didn't help during this incident but actually made things a lot more difficult because when the ship was found, my team and I demanded that they returned all 512 Taygetans on board, and in good shape. The Galactic Federation, which is always claiming that all diplomatic demands and problems should pass through them, decided not to intervene in this case, allegedly because the missing starship is Alfratan, and it was their problem, and not the Federation's. On the other side, the Alfratan government said that they empathized with us Taygetans, but that they were unable to do anything without the direct consent and detailed instructions coming from the Galactic Federation. My team and I pressed both the Galactic Federation and the Alfratan government, with no results, being that all we wanted was for them to give us back our 512 citizens, and insisting that their denial, lack of interest or bureaucratic swamping was very strange, even more, when the well-being of the Taygetan citizens was at stake, and having exhausted all diplomatic resources, Grade 5 Captain Goriel and I had no choice but to send the dreadnought Asterope and her 24 fighter ships, in a rescue extraction operation. As the Asterope and her fighters descended from hyperspace and entered Mars orbit, the Galactic Federation sent us an alarm message asking what we were doing, because it looked as if we were preparing for an act of war, and all we responded was that we needed our people back as their well-being was very time-sensitive, and that we were not getting any response from anyone in charge. We did declare that if the 512 Taygetans weren't immediately transferred to the Asterope, we would have no choice but to enter for them by force, even more so because we were being kept in total ignorance about why they were being kept there against their will. Neither the Galactic Federation nor the Alfratan government accepted our demands, or not exactly, as immediately after we stated the above, the Alfratan transport craft took off at high speed, and jumped into hyperspace, with 12 of the Starship Asterope's 24 fighters in hot pursuit. The Alfratan transport craft had set a route directly to Tema, in Taygeta, where she descended from hyperspace and was quickly intercepted by our patrolling craft there, and by the 12 fighters stepping on its heels. The transport craft was forced to land in Toleka City's spaceport, although it looks like that is what they intended to do anyway. For added safety, They were instructed to land in a remote corner of the starport as the cargo and contents of the Alfratan transport craft were unknown, and they could be of danger to the Taygetan population there, and the ship was then quickly stormed by Taygetan special forces, who searched the ship thoroughly. The 512 Taygetan citizens were on board, complete and in good health, as well as the Alfratan minimum required crew of the starship, who later declared that their high command ordered them to take the Taygetans back home. To this date, no one has yet answered our questions, especially why they decided to take the Taygetans all the way home instead of simply transferring them to our awaiting dreadnought starship Asterope, which was already there. I mean, it would have been far more logical as well as a lot simpler. Right after the safety of the 512 Taygetans was confirmed, the Asterope and its fighters returned to low Earth's orbit, to its post escorting the rest of my fleet here. Back in Tema, the Alfratan basic crew of the transport craft were questioned, but as usual they didn't know much as they were simply pilots following orders, yet they did state that they were hijacked while in flight from Alpha Centauri to Taygeta by a well-organized assault team from Earth. This statement was later corroborated by what the Taygetan passengers said, as they described how a large team, probably of about 20, suddenly entered the bridge area of the transport craft and took control over the ship. Then they went among the passengers, ordering them to lie on the floor with their faces down, while they searched their belongings, although they were clearly looking for specific passengers, which they found soon enough, and forcefully took them while heavily mistreating them while they were at it. None of those were Taygetans, and according to the passengers, the arrested people were either Alfratans or Earth human citizens. The Taygetan passengers declared that when the ship landed on Mars, although they did not know where they were at the time, the military assault team descended from the ship with the people they had arrested, and with 4 very large and heavy black boxes, with no labels on them, but with little blinking lights at each end. The description of the military team that hijacked the Alfratan transport craft matches one of the human Cabal's secret space program, or Space Marines. Yes, they do exist, and apparently are members of the same special operations unit that entered Taygeta as well, in the past few weeks. There has been a lot of speculation about all this, and what it could have been, and unfortunately we don't know all the answers. It looks as if that special operations unit was sent to prevent whatever was in those boxes from reaching Taygeta, as well as to arrest those people who were transporting them. I very recently asked our Urmah allies and friends what they make of all this, and they said that those boxes matched the description of highly advanced containers for transporting astral entities. Those boxes contain them in a frequency and vibration computer-controlled environment inside which acts like a reverse Faraday cage, preventing a captured entity from escaping while being transported. The Urmah use this sort of container box a lot. Although it is not 100% sure those boxes were actually that, it is still highly probable as the Taygetan passengers gave highly detailed descriptions of all the boxes' features, as several of them got to see them well while the assault team passed beside them. The passengers could even remember that at least most of the little lights on the boxes were red, probably indicating that their mechanism was active. It looks as if unknown people were attempting to transport entities onto planet Tema, and someone within the Earth's cabal didn't want that to happen. Are the Alfratans exporting their dark entities now? Perhaps as a highly advanced weapon. I mean, this I do not see as far-fetched, as I was recently attacked similarly. It is very hard for me to think that they would want to protect Taygeta, so there are a lot of things we still don't understand about all this. I will keep you informed if I know more. All this incident is quite unfortunate as it has increased the tensions between Alfratan Centauri and Taygeta even more, even though the Alfratan government insists that it understands us and that they are on our side. The problem is that their actions, or the ones of whoever is controlling them, indicate just the opposite. In the meanwhile, and to prevent further problems, I sent the first-generation Toleka-class heavy cruiser, Ventra, to Alfrata in Alpha Centauri to serve as a transport for all the remaining Taygetan citizens there who wish to travel back home. I'd like to clarify something important. Formerly it was said that the Cabal on Earth couldn't leave Earth using starships because the Galactic Federation forbids it, and therefore resorted to using portals and jump rooms mostly hidden in deep underground bases of the Cabal. This is still the official Galactic Federation narrative, as humans are supposed to be contained on Earth, yet recent events have led my group and I to see that the secret space program on Earth is indeed going in and out of Earth freely using Alfrata Centauri starship identifications and transponder codes. And even though this is a heavy violation of space law, and even of the Prime Directive, the local federation simply does nothing to stop this problem. On the other hand, the Alfratan government states that they are aware of the problem, but although they are addressing it, they have been unable to stop it so far. I no longer believe them, as all the evidence suggests that the Alfratans, government and all, are working with the Cabal on Earth, while they both serve the shady intentions of the dark side of the Galactic Federation. As usual, things tend to be complicated, and I do not doubt that this may only compromise factions, or parts within the Alfratan government and not all of it. But it is safe to say that the secret space program is unleashed using Alfratan transponders. Moving on to something entirely different, DK's birthday was last Sunday, March 2nd, and he had a nice party in the Sardiklaya, with all our friends. I was told it was a very nice party, but I couldn't go since I had very important things to attend, from Taygeta, and the party was too late at night for me anyway, because I am already too overworked and under a lot of pressure as I am now anyway. I hope to be able to go next year. This will be all for today. As always, thank you for watching my video, and for liking, sharing, and subscribing for more. It helps this channel grow a lot. And I hope to see you here next time. With much love and appreciation, your friend, Marie.